And then I'm also thinking, now with this new knowledge, I can try and repair things. Let me see if you can still have another hope. I'm still hopeful.
Back at home.
Can come out of this.
In your home now.
Yes, back in my home.
Right.
And as we are trying to patch things, that's how I ended up now getting my third child.
Right.
And I keep saying I only wanted two, but it was a buy two, get one free from God. And I am grateful.
Right.
Like I keep saying, I love the three of them.
Yep.
I see how they complete me.
Right.
When children are your heart walking out of you.
Exactly.
And they all challenge me in all their own
different ways. Right.
So I got my third child just as I was in the middle of the program. But the shocking thing, I missed class only 3 weeks. The week for delivery, 2 weeks to recover. The third one, they're seeing me in class. Even my teachers are like, Allah, should have just stayed home. I'm like, no, I've missed you guys.
I can't miss this.
Me, I'm not missing this.
You got so connected to it.
I loved everything I was learning. Even that pregnancy was tough. I had been told literally stay at home. But I'd find a way. Every Thursday, because my class was on Thursday, every Thursday I'd be in class. And I'd even ask for a stool. Help with a stool, I'd put my feet up and I'm like, if I need a break, I go. But I'd come back and I'd engage. And I loved it to the point that I finished top 10 in my class.
Wow.
That year.
Wow. Congratulations.
So I had found my thing.
Right. You found yourself finally.
As in, I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't have the knowledge. So now they're merging.
The dots connected.
The dots are connected.
Right.
So after my diploma, I went back to do an internship with them. The internship is for 1 year. But like I said, me, I'm always those ones of, I can see there's a gap here. Can we fill it?
Right.
And I went in very proactively. And within 6 months, they had employed me.
Right.
So I didn't complete my 1 year. I completed my 150 hours in 6 months.
Right.
But now I also got in employed
Right.
full time.
Right.
And now I even did TOT.
Right.
So I discovered my passion for teaching people.
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
I don't want to just sit and wait for people to bring me their problems.
Right.
So I discovered I love teaching. So I went into now teaching as well. And now I started teaching the basics, the certificate, just the basics. And as I'm doing that, I went now to do my undergrad. I'm like, I still want more knowledge.
Still progressing.
Oh, still progressing. I'm like, I am thirsty.
Still progressing.
But then literally, if you told me to just be in school for the rest of my life, still learning about psychology.
You would.
Because every day we are discovering something new.
Right.
For me, it's a given. Pay for me the fees.
Yep.
Fees ndio shida.
Yeah.
As adults,
Yeah.
we are adulting.
Right.
The bills come in.
Right.
But if I could just, every day I'm reading something, I'm
Right.
learning something,
Right.
I'm looking for a free program.
Right.
I'm now trying to complete my master's, So for
So
me,
you completed your undergrad.
I completed my undergrad and I graduated.
Right.
And I still continued being employed.
Right.
And now eventually at some point I was like, I need a break.
Right.
So I went out and started Keep a Pale.
Right.
Because I looked at my life and I was like, I've gone through a metamorphosis.
Right.
I was a caterpillar, but I'm slowly finding my wings.
Right.
If I can give people a safe space to open up,
Right.
to share their stories, to just be very real,
Right.
they can also find their wings.
Correct.
Then COVID happened.
So you actually founded Keep a Pale.
Yes, I founded Keep a Pale.
Right.
I founded Keep a Pale.
Right.
So
And while all these things are going on well, you're still hoping something better happens at home.
Yes.
And how are you reconciling these two worlds?
This is why I say who we are outside sometimes is a show of what we are hoping for in the private spaces.
Right.
Because at home things were not looking up good. As
Right.
this is going up, this is going down.
So during the day, man, it's a highlight. You can't
let
wait
me
for
tell you,
morning to come.
I'm even doing TV shows.
Yes.
And I'm enjoying.
Right.
I'm like, I'm going to empower people. Then I go into therapy, and I'm listening to people. Then I'm going into class and I'm teaching. And I'm finding my zone.
Right.
I literally tell people I'm a fish in the sea.
Right.
When you leave me in the world of psychology.
Right.
You remember I told you I did accounts?
Yes.
Aki, let me tell you, I was doing accounts and I had just gotten the bare minimum of a D+ in maths. So imagine how ridiculous that was when I look at it now. I was trying to be a fish, trying to fly.
Or to climb a tree.
Yes, and I'm not in my zone. So it was also a struggle.
No, but it also displays the power of peer pressure.
Yes.
Because you wanted to hang out with a gang.
Imagine, I want to hang out with the birds,
right.
and me, I'm a fish.
But we all get wiser in hindsight as we keep going. And that's why we do shows like this.
Yes.
So that then we can reflect and guide early.
Yes.
Before we then try to become a fish that is trying to climb a tree.
Yes.
So and you see, for me, it's this almost dual personality, if you may. Because during the day, man, you're alive.
Oh.
You're the fish in the sea.
Yes.
Coming alive, teaching everybody, impacting everybody.
Yes.
The very things you wished were working back at home.
Yes.
And at home, by the time you're taking your 1.5 hours journey back,
but there's something in you just starts to be like, do I have to go home? And here's the interesting thing as well, because this is something we need to talk more about, because it's affecting us even on social media. On social media, we're very happy people, but behind the scenes,
it's a different thing.
We are crumbling. I've put that photo of me with a nice meal. You know, I'm flossing, I'm in a 5-star, living my best life now.
But your realities are very far from that.
Oh, you're crying, literally.
And you know, for me, let me tell you, that's a part I would want to really understand how we dealt with. Because for you, this was a practical journey.
It was.
I would almost imagine your morning drive, your 1.5 hours drive to Nairobi must have been one exciting journey. But within the same day, you had 1.5 hours journey to go back to what you hope would be different. And I really want you to walk me through practically, because then sometimes it feels like a trap.
Yeah.
I want you to walk us through practically. How do you deal with that space, and how do you deal with it?
Because the thing about life is, yes, you've discovered yourself, but you're still in a system. What does the system say? What does culture say? Our culture says marriages in Africa are for till we die. Mwanamke ni kuvumilia. So that's what culture has taught me. Nivumilie. But I know in my vumiliaring, I'm dying.
You're crashing.
In my vumiliaring, I'm asking myself, how comes the person who should have made me feel good enough makes me feel like the lousiest, worthless person in this world? So you're always nganganaring. You're always saying, okay, I'll also stay here because of the children. I have 3 children. You know, allow me to also be very honest and say this. Even as I was living eventually in 2020, I asked myself, who's ever going to love me with 3 children? As in...
And those are the fears sometimes.
Fears.
Because you want to be loved for sure.
Yes,
but
I do.
Now the circumstances have also changed. They don't make it as easy.
No, they don't.
So then you stick where we have gotten used to.
Nisawa, you hear that, you know that statement, ati better the devil you know than the angel you don't know. Me by then nowadays I'm like, I'm done with this devil. Let me go see if that angel is a bit better for me. Me, I'm not gonna stay with that. So it was very tough to reconcile that. And then you're thinking, I had tried to live before, it didn't work. And then now I have 3 children. How will I raise them? What will happen to them? What will people say? You know, as in what will actually happen? There's so much fear. And allow me to also say this, with all the toxicity that was there, I didn't see anything beyond what was out here. So I didn't believe in myself, in as much as I'm growing others and I'm making them believe in themselves and I'm empowering them. There's a part of me I still don't believe in myself about.
But I'm sure you're also equipping these other people with tools that they go and apply and make their homes better.
Yes.
Don't you then get to the point where you're almost asking yourself, if those tools are working for them and I'm the one who trained them, why aren't they working for me here?
And that's where it got to in 2020. And I was like, if I have done this for other people, if I have seen success stories in my therapy room, what's so different about me? So this is what I also say. Yes, I'm a therapist, but I'm human.
Yes.
And this is why I also say therapists have their own therapists.
Right.
So I took myself back into therapy.
Right.
As we do all these programs, we actually do therapy. So as I was slowly healing and finding my way back, because I've experienced abuse in different ways. Allow me not to talk much about it today. That could be another show. But as you're healing the abuse, it takes time for you to even see your worth. For you to actually feel, I am human. Because you're also going back into this space you're feeling, I'm less of a human being.
Not good enough.
So you build, but you go back in the evening, it's torn away.
Right.
And then you're also seeking for things for coping mechanisms in unhealthy ways. So at some point, allow me to be honest and say I was addicted to food. I used to drink alcohol. I'd just be depressed, and to just get out of that depression, I'd look for that drink. And for me, it got to a place now, I told myself, no, there has to be better. So in 2019, even before I left, I would see my friends posting on social media. The other good thing about social media is you can also find strength to start doing things. So I'm seeing my friends going for these running events. I'm seeing them losing weight. I'm seeing them posting how they're happy, and you can feel the energy. So I told myself, let me try. Let me see, what's the worst? I've been drinking, I've been eating myself. I'm 85, I'm thinking, okay, I have graduated from university, I've done all this. So what would be so wrong with me trying to lose some weight? What would be so wrong in me trying to see, could there be something better?
After all, you started off by almost not having any paper by the time you left college to become a mother.
Yes, I
and
didn't have
here
any
you
paper.
are. You didn't have a paper, but you have resiliently built and built and built to. You're now a post.
Even with what we have, we have built it over the years, and I'm thinking, if I've built other things,
why can't I build
why can't I build myself?
Right.
But let me tell you, that first run, I couldn't even run a kilometer. My heart literally told me, you stop or we stop.
Hii kupambana jamani.
My heart literally told me, you stop
or we stop you.
So what I did is I found a running community.
Right.
I actually say this, allow me to say this as
ahead.
we're doing this.
Right.
There are 4 fundamental things about mental health.
Right.
Knowing who you are.
Right.
Knowing how to manage everyday stresses. Living and knowing that you're being productive. But more importantly, number 4, being in communities.
Right.
Those are the 4 fundamental key things as defined by WHO about mental health. And with all my clients, if I consider these 4 things and we work through them, knowing who you are, working through everyday stresses, feeling that you're being meaningful and productive, and then finding communities you find a sense of belonging in, then your mental health keeps improving.
Right.
So when I found myself in this
and that's a decision you have to make.
Yes.
And be intentional about it.
Very intentional.
Right.
And if you don't know how to go about it, this is where I say now my work comes in. Because I deal with normal people going through normal life issues, just not coping effectively.
Right.
And that not coping effectively is what brings you mental health disturbances.
Right.
If we work through that, then you're able to continue living life more meaningfully and healthy. So if you come to me as a therapist, if you come to me and I'm working with you, you're not sick. And that's the first thing I normalize with all my clients. You're not here because you're sick. You're here for me to give you a safe space, for you to discover yourself, for you to discover your truth, for you to discover your resources, because there are resources within you to manage your stresses. And then for you to look at spaces where you'll find belonging.
And that approach alone removes the stigma of imagining that going to see a therapist is either an indicator of I'm a failure in life or I am not coping. It removes the stigma. I mean, we are going through normal life and I'm a normal human being, but then maybe there's a coping thing that we just need to find alignment.
Yes. And the other thing is you're not coming to me for your answers. You're coming for me to teach you how to find your answers. So the other thing I like to tell people...
Because the answers are still within me.
Oh, they're always within you. So the other statement I live by is I always teach people to fish. I never give the fish. Even my own children will tell you, Mom, I can't find my socks. Are they mine or yours? Where did you leave them? Go start from there.
Trace them from there.
Trace them.
Yep.
Oh, I don't know how to do this. What do you know? Then how do we move to what you don't know? So that's the sort of friend I am. That's the sort of mother I am. That's the sort of sister I am. I'll not be some rescue team, so to say. I will teach you how to find your fish so that when I'm not there, you can keep eating and enjoying your meal.
Giving me fish is teaching me acquired dependency.
Yes.
And therefore, if you're not there, I can't function.
Eat, I'll die.
Yes.
So that's not my work also as a
Right,
therapist.
right.
I'm there to teach you to be a self-sustaining human being
Right.
in a healthy community,
Right.
and in a way that you're interdependent with your community.
Correct.
So I also don't believe in this nonsense of an independent woman. I'm supposed to be an interdependent woman. There's a place I can take care of myself. There's a place I can stand on my own 2 feet, but there's a place I need other people to come in
Right.
and support me.
Right.
So all the independent women, imagine that is bull crap. Allow me to say that. You can't be independent. For you to be a healthy woman, you need to be interdependent in a healthy manner.
Do the bit you must,
Yes.
but also interconnect with others.
Yes, that's how we've been created. We're social human beings.
Right.
And that's why you discover when COVID checked in, it came in with a lot of mental health issues, because we're not supposed to be socially distancing. We're actually supposed to be drawing closer socially.
Right.
But now you're being told you can't even say hello. You know, there are hormones that are
Don't even shake hands.
Yeah, there are hormones that are activated when you shake hands. They're actually better hormones when you hug a loved one. Now you're being told even the loved one, you cannot hug them.
Yeah. You're getting home and your own children can't even hug you.
Yes. So the basic hormones of your emotional well-being are not being activated.
Right.
So what is happening? Your stress levels are going high.
Right.
And what is happening? Mental health issues are now creeping in. Any unfinished business that we used to run away from caught up with us during COVID.
As we are locked up in
As
houses.
we are locked up. So that is why also COVID came with its own mental health challenges. And I like to keep saying this. We've not yet seen the tip of it yet. 5-10 years down the line,
It will hit at us.
we'll feel the ripple of the 2 years that we were locked indoors. So we need to be very intentional at this point. Instead of waiting to be hit, be intentional to work on your mental health,
Right.
and to take care of your people,
Proactively.
and the people around you.
Proactively.
Yes.
So you joined this running community.
So I joined the running community, and they slowly start to encourage me. I post 2 kilometers today, I get a kudos. I go show up with them. My Captain Desmond, Des from Team Jasho, was another amazing person who just walked with me. Because the first run I went for 10K, he literally walked with me all the way. I think I ran maybe 2 kilometers at most, and that was in spasms, you know. But he walked with me, and when we finished, I was like, well done. But there's something he also said that really challenged me. He was like, how do you sweat? I was that unhealthy. So I took it positively.
10 kilometers later.
10 kilometers later, there's
Not
not
a-
a drip
not a
of
drip.
sweat. And I have dragged him for like 2 hours, but he was very patient. So I took it up positively. I was like, I mean, this community that are giving me a kudos, I'll keep on.
Some people that celebrate me.
Yes. And you know, this is the first time I'm also feeling accepted. I've done 2 kms, maybe at pace 13. You know, pace 13 is what? And Kipchoge is doing pace 3.
You're pretty much walking.
Thank you.
Yes, you're
Not
pretty
that
much
you're
walking.
crawling. But people are telling you, well done.
And at this point, you're telling me, say you're 85 kilograms.
Yes. So I'm feeling affirmed. I'm feeling accepted.
Right.
I'm feeling a sense of belonging.
Right.
And so this really motivated me to keep running.
Right.
And by the end of now 2019, I did my first tan shot.
Right.
My first 21 kilometers.
Right.
And then I did an ultra.
Right.
I did up to 56 kilometers.
Where was this?
It was called the All Nairobi Bypass
All right,
Ultra.
right.
People who did actually 100 kilometers.
Right.
So they're amazing human beings
Yep,
out here
yep.
with a lot of greatness.
Yep.
We just need to go and dig them out.
Right.
So they did 100.
Right.
I did my 56. But
The first time I actually saw a guy doing 100, it was actually that Eastern bypass, the whole bypass ring. There's a guy called
Yes.
Eliud Chemueno.
Yes.
And man, I had to join him for a few of those and say,
And that's the loop we
celebrate.
did.
Right.
And that's the loop we did.
Right.
And I did it running walk. And from then I was like, I am unstoppable. And I discovered now with every run I would do, there's something that is growing in me. So I actually even became more intentional
Right.
to now ground myself in the running.
Right.
Because running for me at this point is where I get to talk to God very authentically. I get to brush and work through my thoughts. I get to process and be very honest with myself, but I also get to get the endorphins that keep me pushing
Right.
in life and
Right.
to keep me going.
Right.
Because by the point I had started running, I was actually in a very depressive phase. So in
Wow.
2020,
Yep.
I got depressive
Yep.
because of now COVID,
Yep.
plus the things that were now going on at home.
Right.
So I went to see my therapist.
And now you're stuck together at home.
We are stuck together.
Because now we are all locked up.
we are all locked up.
And you're locked up with an environment you don't quite like per se.
Yes. And now
And now you can no longer
I'm in
come to
therapy.
Nairobi to do the things you enjoyed to do.
Yes.
So what happens?
So my therapist actually told me, you either change what is happening or I send you in for antidepressants.
That's where we are.
That's where I'm at. I'm not very sure what I need to do. I think I know what I need to do. I'm just scared of what to do and how to do it.
Because changing home is also not easy.
No. How? Kwanza, it's in the middle of COVID.
And this has been a couple of years down the road, by the way.
Yes, down the road.
Because you moved in which year?
2004.
2004. That's when you moved in.
Yes.
Now we are in 2020. So this has been 16 straight years.
16 straight years. You know, things are not working. You know, there's something totally off. There are ways you felt abused. But you're like, what else is there? As in, I can't see another life. You know, sometimes I keep saying, when you've been in such a toxic situation, you don't know any other better way. So you'd rather just continue with the toxicity. You know, literally, you take a chokora to a 5-star, they're like, first of all, this 5-star food will even get me sick. I'm not used to clean food.
Right.
Let me go back to my daddy.
My system will have a shock system on it. Right.
So having been in that system, I know there's better, but I'm scared about the better.
Right.
It's like you have torn shoes, but you're scared of getting new shoes because you don't know how they'll be. But something happened like 2 or 3 weeks after that session, and I knew I can't keep living like this. Something has to give. And this is where you say, kama mbaya, if I die, I die. And one fine Sunday, I picked my clothes, I threw them in an Uber. That time my kids and their dad were out having some fun, and I left. And I said, I am done. If I'm coming back, I know that something has changed in him. I know something has changed in me. I know we have worked through our foundation. That's the only way I will come back. But for now, I am done. And that's the only thing I left with in that house. And I got a place within 24 hours. I slept on a mattress. I started afresh. Didn't have curtains. Didn't have dishes. Didn't have anything. I only had money for a month's rent. I only had money for a mattress and a duvet. And I started life afresh. But can I shock you? That day I slept and I felt like a human being for the first time in years.
In 16 years.
I felt human. I felt valued. I felt loved. I can't even tell you, I dreamt and I enjoyed my dream. And when I woke up, that's when I told myself, I always knew there was something wrong, and I will never ever doubt my gut. I will never, unajua the way you're told, ile kitu Mungu alituwekea kutuambia, I will never doubt it again. And since then I have never looked back. Family obviously tried to come in and be like, go back and try and work through those things. I was like, no, I've been trying to work through those things in that it's not working. So these are my non-negotiables. I put up very firm boundaries, but sadly it just didn't work out. And so we had to part our ways. And since 2020 November, literally I began life afresh, and I've learned, by the way, I have literally learned what Paul said. When you have, when you don't have, learn to be content. But that doesn't change who you are. So at the core of who I am, I know who I am. I know what I'm made of. I know the stuff I'm made of. So even as I was sleeping on the ground, I'd still go see my clients and they wouldn't know anything is happening. You know, as my kids came for the first time and they're just finding a mattress and an empty house, I told them, I'll come home. This is all we have and this is where we'll sleep for until mommy gets money. And for a while, we'd even eat kibandaski food. I think for 3 months, me I ate kibandaski food and no one knew. Apart from a few friends who are close by, then some of my girls bought me a meko and some sufurias. Nilikuwa nalala kwa mattress, nakula kibandaski food, but I would sleep. And I would wake up well rested. And I would feel at peace. So since 2020, I think I have found a new sense of strength, a new sense of resolve, a new way of looking at my work. Because here's the thing, I left behind a car. I left behind a 3-bedroom, fully furnished house. I left behind businesses that were doing well. I left behind a very comfortable lifestyle. But here I am since 2020, and I'm gonna be very honest, haven't gotten anything. As in literally, it's been save for a TV. A friend of mine bought me a couch for my birthday present. You know, someone is like, my brother gave me a bed. So it's just been literally saying, my value is not based on other people, it's not based on other things, it's based on who I am. And I also make a choice, with or without, to be happy, to be bubbly, to be a healer, to be positive, or to live life, and to just be in the present. So the thing about being scared is you just need to take action. The antidote of fear is action. And you will never know until you try. And you will never discover who you truly are until you step into that zone where you feel safe and you know you can grow and you know that this is where I'm supposed to be. So it's not been easy. Allow me to even say at this point, before I left, I was suicidal. After I left, at some point, I was suicidal because you have stigma. You're having battles, allow me to say, even with your own family members. People are thinking you've gone crazy. You know, there are days literally I'd feel so alone. I'd feel like the crappiest human being. You know, you're even asking, allow me to ask this. As in, even after being with this person for 16 years, at a fridge too, you know, even the basic decency of saying, I'll buy you out of the business with a basic capital of this for you to move on with your life. You're like, he can't see that in me. But then I realized the way he sees me is not about me, it's about him. So he needs to do his work. And that's why I don't bring the gory stuff and I say the things that happen in public. Because I'm like, he's also wounded. Maybe I wasn't the person for him. You know, we just found ourselves pregnant and we moved on. We were not prepared. So nowadays, whether you see my value or not, hiyo ni yako. Me, I'm a valuable human being. I know what I've been created here for. I'm here to heal people. I'm also very passionate about being preventive. So you'll find me in a lot of shows, you'll find me in a lot of trainings, you'll find me just speaking to people. You'll find me sharing my stories with other women. Because I know there are other women out there who have gone through my story and they don't know where to start. They don't know what to do. Please reach out. I've had quite a number of women.
They don't know how to deal with the stigma. They don't know how to break away from abuse. And
they don't
know how
even
to
have
break.
money for therapy.
Exactly.
So even if you don't have money for therapy, even if we'll just talk and I encourage you.
On phone.
Imagine it is okay.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Marriage should not define your worth. Marriage is just a title. Like I said at the
titles don't define who we are.
Can be taken away.
Yep.
Even my children can be taken away.
Right.
You know, it's God who gave them to me.
Yep.
God can decide at this point, by then you've done enough being a mother. So will that stop me from living my life purpose? Will that stop me from living my life's path? No. So don't allow yourself to be defined by the title of being married. I'm single, and I'm single because I'm divorced, but that does not define my self-worth. I am whole, I am complete, and I know that my pain brought me to my passion. I know that my test is my testimony, and I know that there are better days ahead.
And indeed, when you say your pain brought you to your passion, for yours is literally that way.
Literally, because some of the things I even went through in my formative years were a build up to the pain that I have endured now as an adult. And this is what I say, we need to heal the inner child in us as well. Who we were brought up as children, sometimes they build us or they destroy us. But here's the other thing I also say, with every experience, you can choose to be better or to be bitter. It's only one vowel, the E and the I.
And it's just a decision away.
It's a decision away. So I choose to be better. At some point I was getting bitter, but I've found a support system. I went into therapy. The first year, 2021, I was in therapy throughout, even as I was seeing my own clients. But that therapy helped me. I found a close knit of 2, 3, 4 girlfriends who just held my hand. And you know, when I would feel like my life is coming to an end, I would call them up. Eventually, my pastor got to know what was happening. So I was a call away. My pastor is Reverend Tony Kiama. So I'd call him and Pastor Caro in the middle of the night. Like, I feel like I'm going to die. Like, I really just, literally, like, I just want to go look for rat poison and die. but they'd encourage me and they'd hold me. So this journey is not for you to live alone. You need to find, even if it's one or two people who can walk with you. And when they walk with you, also because you've been a victim of abuse, accepting help can be difficult. Learn to accept that help. But as you do that, something in you is restored, something in you grows. And let me tell you, God provides, because I have never slept hungry. I have a fully furnished home. Literally, you know, some people take that for granted.
From the mattress to a fully furnished home.
From a mattress, I have a fully furnished home. We are living comfortably with the boys. I have never lacked rent. I have never lacked food. The kids are in school. You know, so God always provides.
Right.
But you don't need to have the final fine print. You just need to know what is my next step.
Right.
And then take the next step.
Right.
And then take the next step.
Right.
And somehow things fall into place.
Wow. I mean, this is amazing stuff. This is amazing stuff. The fact that you can rebound from.
Oh, you can bounce back from anything. The superpower that we have as human beings is that we can bounce back from anything. You can choose today to recreate yourself and to say, this is who I'm gonna be from today. You know those stories of people who decided at 40, I'm going back to school? That woman who, after she's raised her kids, she's like, I can find love again. That's our superpower, but it's here. If you recognize it.
It's all within.
It's all.
We've got it.
It's here.
We've got it.
You have it within you. And that's why I keep saying, that which you seek outside is here. And it's here in loads and sackloads, and it never runs out. It's always there. You can never run out of it. If you just keep taking care of it and using it in the right way, it actually grows more and more. Because how I believed in myself in 2020 is not how I believe in myself now. Me, I'm actually taking mental health space in Africa. And when God tells me, I'll take the whole world. So I'm not limiting my abilities in Kenya. Literally,
you're
my next
taking
phase,
healing all over.
I'm taking Africa. Africa, we need to heal. Africa, we need to write their narrative. And we need to write our own narrative. Because we are very powerful people. We had our answers within. This thing of Ubuntu, living as a community, it's a mental health fundamental. This thing of your aunties talking to you along every stage of life, that was counseling. So we had our answers. Where we
got distracted.
Tunatoka Africa, tunaenda kutafuta answers west. Let's come back here. Our answers are here.
You know, talking about the West, man, there's a big debate, and allow me to speak to you also as a counselor. There's a big debate around this LGBTQ stuff and all.
Yes.
And we wonder whether then it's just a public story going on out there, or privately other things are going on. What have you experienced so far?
Allow me to first say this, with all respect to all humanity, because as a therapist, first as a human being, I respect everyone. As a therapist, I respect your choices, I respect your values, I respect what you choose in terms of your sexuality. What I don't respect is you throwing it down my throat, throwing it down my children. Allow me to have a space where I empower my children, even with this knowledge of LGBTQ, and then they can choose for themselves. But this thing of you throwing it down my throat, so I keep saying, just the same way I don't walk around bragging the way I'm sleeping with a man, as in, it's not, as in, let's have a level playing field. If you're gonna throw that in my face, then let me also speak the gospel of how amazing it is to sleep with a man. Let me say that. But if this is being downplayed, and we're saying this is normal, we don't have to talk about it, then this should also be normalized, and we don't have to talk about it, and allow people to make their own private choices, because sexuality is a private choice. So you bring it in the public domain, yet allow me to say this, even this thing of sleeping with a man has not been normalized in Africa. So how comes we are normalizing even the things that we are being told to embrace? So let's normalize the whole of sexuality, not just one side, but in totality. And let's first talk about healthy sexuality. I really don't care about your sexuality. I care about how healthy are you sexually. That is my concern. So I work with everyone. By the way, I work with everyone. But at the core of it all, I'm looking at, are you a healthy person with a healthy sexuality? Then that way, you'll make a very clear choice in terms of who I choose to engage with in my private moments of pleasure. Yes.
Okay. I mean, we seem to have the concerns that then we're not sure how it's going on the ground, away from the glare of the camera, and just trying to find out how is that space shaping up.
I would say, as parents, we need to talk more to our children about their sexuality and our sexuality. It's still not being talked about enough in our homes. And we are allowing now the social media, we're allowing the organizations, we're allowing their friends to help them make that choice. I keep saying this, parents, you should be the primary source of information to your children.
Yeah.
So have you made peace with your own sexuality so that you can have these very candid and honest conversations with your children? So kwa ground vitu hazikai vizuri sana, and I'm not talking just about LGBTQ. In general, we are a depressed society looking for the highs in very unhealthy ways. So we're looking for the highs in drugs, we're looking for the highs in alcohol, we're looking for the highs on social media, but we're also looking for the highs in sex. So we need to heal as a society.
So we need to have real conversations.
We need to have real conversations.
Yep.
But real conversations come from real people.
Absolutely.
And real people come from having healed.
Yep.
I would not have shared this story with you even last year.
Yep.
I had to be very intentional to say, I need to go to my next level of healing. Otherwise, last year, by the way, I was still a bit skeptical to say, did I leave? Did I not leave? Have I separated? Have I not separated?
Was I married?
Was I married?
not?
Was I not married? Me, I'm being real now.
Well, you're not even sure which is
I
which.
wasn't sure. But you see, I can laugh at this
Right.
because I've healed.
You've made your journey.
I have
Which also means that then, irrespective of what we go through, we can rise past it.
Oh, you can
We can
rise,
heal beyond it.
not just rise past it,
Right.
rise higher
Higher
into
than it.
greater levels.
Right.
And to be very clear on what is your space in the society.
Absolutely.
Because right now, even if you came and told me, go do management or go do HR, I'd be like, no.
That's not my
I know-
space.
I know
That's
what
not my
space
calling.
is.
Yeah.
I know what my space is, and my
Right.
space has been taking care of me.
Right.
And I can see the possibilities in terms of this space.
Right.
I keep saying, if you've been called to make chapatis,
Yep.
and you make the best of chapatis, even the kings will recognize you.
Absolutely.
So make those chapatis,
Yep.
enjoy making them, and when your time comes to shine, you will be ready and you will truly, truly shine.
I don't want to add nothing else to what you just say, my friend. But folks, I hope you've been listening to this amazing conversation. A story of resilience. A story of really, literally pain leading you to your passion. And discovering your passion in a way that you never look back. But you build clarity every day. Bringing healing where you have pained yourself. And being able to just rise above it, and not only rising above it, but actually literally helping others also rise past it with you. Man, this has been an amazing story. 16 years of marriage. And at some point you say, well, I want to respect what works and possibly what doesn't work. And I want to be sure that then I take care of me in the process as well. And having the courage to start all over again. But if you listen to that journey, finding strength and finding support in areas that support your journey. Finding it in athletics, finding it in running, finding it in wonderful girlfriends, as you said.
Yes.
And people that affirm you and support
Yes.
you and provide support.
Even supporting the church.
And support, yes.
Let me not, demonize the church.
Right.
The church has really supported me.
Right.
Yeah.
Including my good friend, Pastor Tony Kiama.
Oh,
I must say he's a friend of mine.
He's my pastor.
He was recently on A Man of Valor with
Yes.
Robert Burale,
Yes.
and an amazing one, man. Folks, I want to just, there is help out there. And I think it is Robert Burale who likes to say, as long as you're breathing, hold on one more day.
Yes.
Help is on the way.
Yes.
Help is on the way. Look, folks, man, you're a gold mine. And we'll never tire to remind you of this. But even gold mines go through their challenging moments. But what we do with the challenging moments really does matter. I mean, as you just talked about, you either choose to be bitter or you choose to be better. And the difference between the two is just an I and an E. And between the I and the E is a choice you make. And I want to encourage you folks, no matter what life hands at you, you must never stop believing in the greatness inside of you. You must never forget that there is help out there. And today, as he said, even if it was on a phone call, I'm happy to talk. Please make that call.
Male or female.
And it doesn't matter whether it's male or female, because life happens to us all.
Of us.
In fact, challenges are not gender specific.
No.
Sometimes we genderize
No.
it, but we all go through our stuff. Don't you pull off alone, my friend. Reach out, help is on the way. And here we've got her, man. Started afresh, building it strong, building it great, finding joy in her purpose. Above all, finding joy in her purpose and looking amazing. Man. I'm just so excited. And maybe you need to give some context of, so if I wanted to reach out to you, how do I reach out to you?
So if you need to reach out, I'm on Facebook. My page is Ester Mbau. I also have a page, Esther the Counselor. Instagram, the same name, Ester Mbau. The tag is at Esther the Counselor.
Right.
My number is 0712 082800. Please feel free to call me, but also let's have some etiquette. Don't call me after working hours.
Let me put that disclaimer.
Masaa ingine hujui, labda
Tandika
Mungu
Masaya
ataonekania.
kazi.
Yes, but feel free to reach out. You can text me WhatsApp. If I don't pick your call, please know most of my sessions I don't pick my call.
Right.
It's always on silent. So just send me a text and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Yeah.
But please reach out. There is help. And even if you don't reach out to me, there's a lot of help out there. I know Red Cross has a toll-free number. I know there are quite a number of counseling centers, including a money counseling center. And even if you reached out to a counselor or a psychologist without money, one of our ethical issues is we have to be there for humanity first. Money is good, but we have to serve you first. So reach out.
That's what's up, folks, man. That's what's up. Don't deal with it alone, my friend. We need you. In fact, can I say this? We want you also to come and tell your story, and therefore find the support you can, so that then you also can come and tell your story and light up the world of someone else. Man, that's about all that we had today. And I'm so grateful, man, Esther, that you would come through. Thank you so much, man. Totally appreciate it.
Thank you.
Totally appreciate it.
I honestly didn't know I had a story until I started sharing
Yeah.
So, for sure.
Not only do you have a story, but you have a rich story and an inspiring story.
Thank you.
Because then we don't have to live in the bondage of what happened, man. We can find freedom. We can flap our wings and we can fly and become all we're meant to be.
Actually, you've reminded me of a very simple saying. The truth always sets you free. Actually, as we end, I feel very free.
You do?
Yes, I do.
I love the sound of that, man. Like the sound of that, man. You do have a story. And folks out there, you have a story too. That's why we never stop doing the Goldmine Show, because, man, the more we keep talking, the more we resonate with other people's journeys, and it gives us freedom, it gives us liberty, and hopefully it also gives you a lease of life to know that you can begin again, you can smile again, you can fly again, you can scale it up all over again, because you're a goldmine. And until next time, keep following us on the Goldmine Show on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and everywhere else, my friend. And follow, is it Keep It? She gave her all her handles, man. Follow her too. And let's keep doing this great, amazing job of building the greatness inside of us. Until next time, God bless you. And don't you forget that you are a goldmine.